Hello everyone. Now we shall look into the previous n periods and next n periods functions where it could help you to identify whether the date lies in next few like months or weeks or quarters, or whether it lies in the previous day or previous weeks or previous quarters. Here are few sample dates where I could show you how this function works. I'll quickly go to add column, click on custom column where you could add a custom column for it. I'll type previous n days. Okay, the function is date dot is in previous n days. You could see over here, you just click on it. Okay, open the parenthesis, date dot is in previous n days, open the parenthesis, click on date time and insert date time, which is our date column. Put a comma beside it, and here you have to give the number of days which you are like trying to look into and find out the validity. Okay, here I wanted to suppose that I wanted to check previous 3 days. I'll type 3, close the parenthesis. Okay, I'll click OK. So it checks the previous 3 days whether any date lies within those range, and it will give me the true condition if it satisfies the condition. Here I have 6th April which satisfies the condition, so it gave me the true result. Similarly, I'll show you the other functions. Let me get into the custom column. I'll show previous n weeks. Okay, I'll write date dot is in previous n weeks over here. I'll open the parenthesis. Okay, similarly I'll give the date column over from here, date time. I'll put comma. I wanted to check previous 2 weeks. Okay, I'll type 2, close the parenthesis and click OK. Here you could see in the previous 2 weeks only my like one date, which is April 1st, lies within the range, so it gives me true for it, and rest of the rows are false condition. So we shall look into previous n months. Okay, previous n months. Here similarly I could type is in. As I type is in, you could see that I could get the IntelliSense working properly. I could type is in previous n months. I'll open the bracket, take my date column, insert, put a comma, and I wanted to check previous two months. I'll close the parenthesis and click OK. Here you could see that only one date, which is March 15th, lies within like past 2 months, so it will give true condition for it. I'll quickly again create a custom column. I'll check previous quarters also. Okay, previous n quarters. Okay, similarly I'll write this quarter function, previous n quarters, date dot is in previous n quarters function. I'll open the parenthesis, take the date time. Suppose that I want to check 2 quarters. I'll type 2 and close the parenthesis and click OK. Here similarly the March date, it is present in the previous quarter, so it is showing the previous n quarters function. Finally, with respect to previous period, we are left with one more function, which is previous n years. I'll type previous n years. So we'll type the function is in. You could see that there is a function populated, date dot is in previous n years. You could open the parenthesis, take the date time column as usual, and check for 2 years. Okay, suppose that if date lies within past 2 years, with respect to years, it will give me the true result. As I click OK, in the last two rows you could see that the year belongs to 2022, so it is giving me the true result for it. This is how previous n days, n weeks, months, quarters and years are helpful for identifying whether they lie in specific number of like months or quarters or years, a period. Similarly, let us quickly go through the next related functions. I'll quickly go to add column and create custom column. I'll type next n days. Okay, suppose that I'll type is in. You could see as I type is in n, you could see that here the next n days function is visible. Okay, I'll click on that. Date dot is in next n days. It will check me for next few days which I wanted to provide. Suppose that I wanted to check for next 20 days. I'll close the parenthesis and click OK. Here you could see that for the next 20 days it will show me the relevant three rows which are lying in the range. Okay, so this is how you identify, and next 10 days is useful in such a way. Suppose that I want to see the next n weeks. Okay, I'll type next n weeks. Okay, I'll here type is in. As a type is in, you could see that here it is in next n weeks. It has populated for me, and then you could insert the date time, and I wanted to just view the 2 weeks period. I'll close the parenthesis and click OK. Here you could see that similarly, like without like avoiding this 8th April, it has given me true condition for 15th and 18th since it lies in next 2 weeks. Okay, so that is how it is helpful for like identifying the like dates within the range. I'll quickly find out the next n months and quarters and years. Okay, I'll type next n months. Here is in next n months. Okay, I wanted to I want to find how to identify the dates within suppose next 4 months, or I could say only 2 months. Okay, I'll close the parenthesis and click OK. Here you could see that only this May 21st date lies in within next 2 months, and rest of the data is in false condition. Again, let us see for next n quarters. Okay, and then I'll similarly type is in. You could see that there is in next n quarters function. I'll open the parenthesis, take the date time, and put a comma beside it. I want to see for the next 2 quarters. I'll close the parenthesis and click OK. As I click on OK, here you could see that for the next 2 quarters, I have this only one date, which is July 27, which lies in that range. Okay, and let us come to the last function of next n periods. This is next n years. Okay, suppose that I want to find in the dates which lies in next n years. I'll click on this date dot is in next n years, open the parenthesis, and then take my date column, and then uh, type number of years which I wanted to check. Okay, and then close the parenthesis and click OK. Here if you could see the last before row, there is a true condition which satisfies this is 24th April 2024, which comes in like next 1 year. So this is how previous and next n periods dates could be identified.